y'all never consider blacks, so this is what triggered that. Racist store owner thinking, damn, where all the niggas at? Ha! Cops killing off the black and the brown. The same companies we spend money with backing these clowns. So until they start respecting what we bring to the table, we gon' cut them all faster than unpaid.
You don't have to stop. I'm not offended. Why did you stop? Why did you stop? What have I done? Sorry to your mind, and you know it. Who's mine? What do you mean? Good. I don't jacket. You move it over. That's the end. I'm 55 years old. So I know y'all real strong. Now please speak to a supervisor. Now please speak to a supervisor. Now please speak to a supervisor. Now speak to him right to a supervisor. Show him. Right. Okay.
The man is black. I think he said he's 55 years old. I think it's ridiculous that they making him lay on a cold, wet ground. Why they won't stand him up? They got him handcuffed. He can't get up. It's freezing cold and raining. I can't see if he black or white. That's a black man. That's a black man. I mean, he gonna stick his head on his head. Won't you get the man up off the ground?
Unless he broke or something, he might have to broke his own. What the world he do up?
I'm gonna record it.
Yes, how you doing, Virginia? This is White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Your host, Wayne Commodore. The video you just saw has happened several times, so I know a lot of Virginians. It's happening to basically the poor people, but definitely it's happening to people that look like me. Henrico Police Department is notorious for lying in court, forcing people to do things that are unreasonable, as in putting cuffs on you to the point where you bleed, and they always try to pretend that they're trying to protect you. Richmond Police Department is notorious for lying in court, falsifying evidence, killing people, killing poor whites, and definitely killing people who look like me. And we're in a state of Virginia that's so ridiculous, pertaining with the police. All the laws do not apply to them. The court system is so corrupt, so pathetically corrupt, from Norfolk to here. The whole state, circuit court, is totally, if you don't have any money in circuit court, you're in trouble. That's basically how that works. If you don't have any money in the court system of Virginia, you are in trouble. The cops in Virginia are above the law. I mean above the law. They break the law constantly. I would probably say that the laws that apply to mortal men does not apply to the law enforcement of Virginia. In Richmond alone, you have Capitol Police, State Police, VCU Police, Richmond Police, and they only attack poor white people and definitely people who look like me. It doesn't matter what circumstances pertaining to being respectful for your rights, because see, you don't have any rights. The only rights in the state of Virginia are to the elites and, of course, law enforcement. They are above the law at all stages. You find it when you go to court. When they say something, it's like E.F. Hutton. That's it. Case closed. Now, people are under a spell, especially people who don't look like me. But there are a few people who know. That's why my show is called White Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter, because I know that's a fact. But we know it's not really like that in Virginia. Other people's lives mean more. But I'll give you an example. The video you just saw typical of what they tried to do. Now, they actually tried to, I'm not going to give you no hyperbole, definitely tried to kill me. That didn't end just with me being on the ground there. It got worse. They beat me till I had to go to the hospital. Then they made the doctors not treat me. Later on in my next show, I'm going to go in detail to what I had to go through and what I dealt with. But it's not just about me. This is whole state. We live in a police state to the point where you have no rights. And if you're poor, they know you don't have your rights. Now, you saw my car, right? Well, they towed my car. And my car was towed from that spot by the police who pulled me. And they wouldn't give me back my car, even though I got out of jail that same day. Now, it didn't matter that there was nothing, I didn't do anything wrong, because that wasn't the issue. This is not the first time this has happened to me. This happened to me several times. And believe me, I'm an old man now. I don't come out because I can't come out at night. When I come out at night, you would be surprised who jumps behind my car. But enough about me. Let's talk about the state of this state with dealing with the police. If you're not financially able, or you're not financially capable of dealing with the police, they know this. That's why most of their victims are poor and they look like me. When they mess with somebody who does not look like me, I guarantee you he's very poor. And they would send him through the ropes, tow his car, slap him around. It's like they're on a different plane than anybody else. And there's one thing that Virginia has, is it has a lot of jails. They have more jails than they have schools. As you know what's happened with the Richmond schools, they're terrible. They've always been terrible, because this is from a Jim Crow state. There's a reason why the schools are like they are. The private schools are doing great. They even get money from the state, buses and things of that nature. A lot of things they get from the state, private schools in Virginia. Everybody knows that. If you notice with VCU, they own all the businesses on Broad Street coming off of Belvedere, and sooner or later, all those businesses are going to be turned into the school. See, they got a plan for Richmond, but basically they're using the police to make that plan. That's why the police and drugs are working perfectly like they wanted to go. If you live on 25th Street like I did, it's all beautiful now. They got dog parks and it's everything. People can stay out to 3, 4 in the morning. But drugs is everywhere. What has happened here? You don't hear about no big bus or anything of that nature. Police and drugs work hand in hand. It emphasizes how great we need them. And if you watch anything like our news, so-called Channel 12 and Channel 8, and the so-called channels that tell you every morning that everything is fine, everything's okay, there's no problem, but watch your door, somebody's trying to break in, because there's no jobs here. And that's been going on for about 30 years. But back to the police. The fact that I'm having problems with them is nothing new. And you don't have to do anything to have a problem with them. All you have to do is criticize them. I filed a complaint at Hanover Police Department once because they tried to run my wife and myself off the road, literally, in a snowstorm. And I'm not joking with you. And when we went the next day to file a complaint against the Hanover sheriffs, the next 2 days when I had to take my wife to work, they jumped us. They literally jumped us. The police department are omnipotent. They have no accountability. Now, I'm going to tell you, we know that anybody could be a cop if they could pass a few things. Basically, what we have in this Virginia, we have a police state. You know what I mean? And they have to say you're going to have a police state, you have to have use for them. So they use them in strategic places, like to regentrification of a neighborhood, to change a neighborhood over. They use the police. You notice how they let the drugs just get way out of hand. And they know what the drugs are because they use drones. Now, if you don't know what that means, look on the highway and it says you could get a ticket by aerial surveillance. Well, that's just telling you a little bit what that's about. It's called the Multi-Jurisdictional Aerial Surveillance Unit. All the local police departments belong to it. Henrico is a leading pioneer in surveillance. And they're using drones back in the 90s. And the same drones that's going over there bombing people in the Middle East or wherever in Iraq and Syria and so forth, those same drones, they take out those terrorists, are the same drones that they're using with the local police department. As you know, the police department is militarized, totally. And their victims are poor people and people who look like me. Now, Virginia's been doing this a while now, okay? If you just notice how the police act, how aggressive they are, what they can say and do in court. The courts in our system, as we have it right now in Virginia, is corrupt. Okay, General's District Court is a joke. You understand? It's a joke. Lawyers walk around, whisper to each other, talk to the prosecutor. You got this, you got that. No matter what's the deal, it's all being taken care of. Now, Virginia is notorious for that. Okay, now the court system here is set up from from the general district court to all the way up to the circuit court. You don't know it's that, but it is. It's all set up, okay? And like your lawyer may have more influence with this judge, and this lawyer has more influence with this judge. It's back and forth, back and forth. We don't have any calls, right? Okay. Now, with the police we have today, if you notice how the behavior, it's like all the laws do not apply to them. It only applies to you. They're supposed to govern you. In the poorer neighborhoods, they can do whatever they want. Now, you notice that drugs are always going to be here because that's the plan. There's no plan to get rid of these drugs. There's no plan whatsoever, okay? The plan is to do just what it's doing. You hear it's a heroin epidemic, right? Okay. What you see on TV, the cop shows and all this, investigation, I'm telling you right now, they have no intentions of getting drugs out of the community. It's all about hype. They let it get embedded because you could have pulled it up by the roots, but they didn't want that. They use drugs like they use the police, to pacify a neighborhood. No jobs for about 30 years. These people got nothing but drugs to deal drugs. What do you think they're going to do? Starve? It's like with health care. You got people going crazy because people need health care. You can't get health care. You know how much that costs? This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? So they are not going to give you health care unless you can afford it. People die 24/7 because they don't have any moolah, money. Money rules this country. Money rules Virginia, okay? I'm not even going to talk about our black churches. I'm going to talk about that on my next two shows. I'm going to tell you what they're doing with the money, how it's a joke, because real Christians help each other. See, I'm a Christian, so I help anybody. But I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care who you are. And being a Muslim, that's a great religion. Just like Christianity is a great religion. That's if you use it wisely. You know what I mean? We all know that you're supposed to help your fellow man or your fellow sister. But we don't do that in Virginia. We go for the throat. We like to see other people hurt, other people in the street, and our hospitals are practically a joke. Okay, if you ain't got no moolah, you're going to die. I'm telling you right now, you're going to die. And the thing is so funny is why would you put hospitals on a tier like insurance? What does that got to do with being healthcare? You're going to pay to be healthy. That's why I would tell anyone who's poor, don't smoke and don't drink. I stopped drinking and I stopped smoking. Just stop. Do nada. Because they know it's going to kill you. Another thing about Virginia, Virginia sells liquor, but then they lock you up for being drunk. Now, you can't have it both ways, okay? Virginia has no business selling liquor. It is addictive. It's just like any other drug, okay? It is a drug. It's just a liquid form. Everybody knows that. Cigarettes, same thing. But they try to make you think it's about being right. It's my right to smoke. It's my right to drink. No, they want you to drink. They want you to smoke so you will die. Okay? That's what they want. And there's one thing about Virginia. They do want you to die quick as possible. All these, back in the day when they had all these redevelopment housings, public housing, all with lead paint. Why do you think they had it with lead paint? You think it's a joke? And anytime you're poor, if you need a doctor, they call the police. If you get anything that's dealing with anything medical, they call the police. When the police come, they always escalate it. They never de-escalate it. That's one thing about Virginia cops they got in common. They love to escalate it. They'll blow your brains out and say, he attacked me. That's another thing I want to talk to you about. When you're pulled over by the police, why do you think they want you to sit in your car? What is the first thing come out of their mouth? I couldn't see his hands. He moved too fast. Now, what do you do when you get on the ground and put your hands up and they still try to shoot you? I'm going to tell you what you do. You start hollering. It's hard to think about these things, I know. But this is how they've been killing people, okay? And if you by yourself and they come up on you and you in your car, you taking your life in your hands. Because once they shoot you, the first thing they're going to do is say, I had to shoot him. I didn't mean it. And they're going to start that drama. It's drama. Look, we need policing could be done by the citizens. We could police ourselves. But first we have to get something out of our neighborhoods. We got drugs embedded in all these neighborhoods. It was done purposely. What can you do if you're on heroin? You can't do nothing. Not a thing. And they know this. That's why it's so plentiful. You know, in Afghanistan, everything's been blown up but the poppy fields. Why do you think that? I mean, you got to understand, the government can run when everything is anarchy. They can control anarchy. And Virginia is a mess. It is a mess. You know, the thing that's so crazy about the police is the fact that they have done so many murders. You can die in custody. You know, whatever they say something in court, they don't even have to go to court. And then the judge would pick up the charge like he was there. Or the prosecutor talks like he was there. If you notice that. And if you accused a cop of lying, everybody in the courtroom will go berserk. You know, the deputy sheriffs, they get hostile. You know, because it's all an elitist program. The laws do not apply with them. And it's always been that way. You know, and the one thing they got in Virginia, they got a lot of people locked up and they got a lot of people who are felons. And they love that. They just sit back and laugh and laugh. These court systems are such a joke in Virginia. I'm talking about beyond dishonesty. Bona fide genocide policies that they've been getting away with for years and years and years. I mean, you got people don't know what it is to have a happy life in Virginia. But everybody thinks everything is so great. You know, Richmond's open for business. They have the bike-a-thon, you know, and, you know, everything is just going great. You should see certain people. I mean, you got my Latin brothers got more businesses in Virginia than African Americans do. Now, I don't know how is that possible, but it's true. I mean, if I'm in Texas, I know it's going to be more Latin Americans in Texas who have more businesses, and they're doing wonderfully there. I've been to Texas. Let me tell you something. They run Texas, and, you know, of course, my white brothers, they run Texas also. But if you just pop up in Texas and you look like me, you better come from Texas, have some money, because you will literally starve, okay? But Virginia, it has a deep history in dishonesty toward its people, never treating these people equally. I'm not going to try to bring up the past, because the past is your future, the future is your past. But if you don't understand your past, you're going to repeat your past. And Virginia has a terrible, terrible, terrible history if you look like me. And I do feel that my white brothers here in Virginia, the ones who are not feeding at the trough, or the ones who think they're so superior just for the fact of their being born, they feel my anger and my pain. And I saw this white guy, and I'm talking race because this is a very racial state, and this is a very racial country. Every application you pick on asks you your race. That's a clue right there that is very race conscious. They always want to keep certain races under a certain level, and there's easy ways to do it. No health care, no Medicare, no jobs. Push the drugs. What's going to happen? Boom. Drugs are going to explode. Felonies are going to roll. And we got felonies up the kazoo, you know, in Virginia. I mean, they just give out felonies like it's nothing. You know, I've been in these courtrooms from here to Portsmouth. And let me tell you, nothing has changed in Portsmouth from the 50s, how the court is so corrupt. The cops some of them are just mad dog killers. Portsmouth, they love to escalate. They never de-escalate. They don't want to de-escalate. It's all TV propaganda. They escalate it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you file complaints against the police department, like Richmond Police Department, Henrico Police Department, Hanover Sheriff's Department, you file a complaint there, they will come after you. You have to be prepared. And I will tell you in my future programs how to be prepared when you're having this problem that I'm having. So you can't come out, especially at night, okay? And I'm going to tell you something else. There's nothing that goes on in Virginia that the law enforcement does not know. You think you're getting away with something, you're not, okay? All you have to do is be someone they're looking for. All right, I think we got one caller. I would like to tell you, if you do call in, make it brief so other people can call. And will you also remember to be courteous? Hello, caller. How you doing?
Hey, is this Wayne?
Okay, caller. Give me your best shot.
Yes, I was wondering if you're going to continue, or do you think everyone should vote Democrats? Is that helpful?
No, we're talking about the law enforcement today. I think you ought to vote your conscience, whoever you want to vote for. Don't forget, white people died for this country, black people died for this country, and they fought to vote for whoever they want to. If you want to vote for Donald Trump, and I'm going to tell you right now, if he cut down some of the rhetoric, he can win. Okay? Because there's some things, but see, there's some things that I disagree with him on, but there's some things that he's right on point. Because I'm going to tell you something. you and I can get a ticket and we can get killed. But you can come here without any kind of documentation and you're here. You're here. But people brought you here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my point is like this. I know my people been in this family in this country for 300 or 400 years. And I'm just talking about the average American who's definitely been here for hundreds of years. We know what we're talking about when we talk about what's going down. We already know that. But what we got to do is come together. But go ahead, caller. Give me your best shot.
Well, I just was flipping through the channels and saw your show. You're doing a great job talking, and I wanted to call in and just ask you what you thought about which party you would vote for.
Well, you know, I gave up on parties a long time ago because they're not doing nothing for the poor whites or for people who look like me. Nothing. You know what? I see more white people, and I have to talk in racial terms because that's how they do. On every application, they got what color you are. But my white brothers are suffering right now. Okay? You know people who look like me suffering. But I see them on the streets with signs talking about they got nothing to eat and no food. And I don't care who you are. If you can have a sign that says feed me, this dude is going to stop and give you some change. And I ain't got no change, but I'm still going to give you some change. That's just me. Okay? I don't talk about you. I don't care what you do with the money. You know what I'm saying? Once you get somebody some money, it's theirs. So that's what I'm telling them what to do with it. But I'm also going to tell you if you're poor, don't drink and don't smoke because that's what they want you to do. Okay? So you can kill yourself. But I think you can vote who you want to vote for. We fought for this, to vote who we want to. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you vote for anybody you want to vote for this American citizen, as long as they're an American. Okay? Yes. Vote for your conscience. Okay? Right. And Donald Trump, I'm sure all the people who have voted for Donald Trump, they're not all crazy and bad. And I don't think they're all racist. You're going to have racists on everybody's could be a racist. But, you know, he's got to go to the general, so he's got to start chilling out, because you got to chill out until you get there, then you can do what you're supposed to do. But I do believe he's going to do something about the border. You know, I think he's going to build that wall. I kind of believe him on that.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree. The voting for a party isn't going to get you where you want to be. You got to be personally responsible for what you do.
There's no question about it. Now, don't get me wrong. People do make mistakes. But making a mistake means, because I'm a Christian, so we have to forgive. Okay, I'm not a weak Christian, so I'll fight for this country and I'll fight for what I believe in. But I do not we are defensive. We react. We don't attack people. So Christians don't do that. Real Christians do not attack. Okay? And they also, will try to talk it out. But don't believe they ain't going to go down and fight down for their country and for what they believe in. See, people got the wrong idea. And I'm not that kind of Christian that's going to tell you where you got to be. I accepted Christ in my life. Okay? But I got to tell the truth to power and tell you like it is. Okay? We live in a police state. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. And thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
There was a white guy I saw on the channel. I was going through the cable, through the internet, and he was taking pictures of government buildings. And matter of fact, he wasn't even really taking pictures of them, but he just was, he took a couple of pictures. But the cops, Henrico cops just came up on him. They came up on him like this. And it's crazy. I know there are people who don't look like me in Virginia can see the power that the police have. If we're going to have a country that everybody can have a second chance and everybody can grow and have potential, we got to come off this police state. We don't need the aggressiveness and the lying. If you put something on a police report, it's got to be the truth. And if it's a lie, you need to be fired. Okay? You need to get drug tests. You know why? Because you got people's lives you kill constantly. You got to have alcohol tests. You can't be an alcoholic and be a cop and be a judge. We got crazies on the bench and we got crazies with guns. But they get away with it because we got a system that's going down. I'm going to take this call. All right, Carl, you got a comment?
Yeah, a while ago you mentioned that you didn't have any rights. And I was just wondering, can you go back to prior to 1964 when they had a lot of argument going on civil rights? I got an education on how black people were treated when I finished basic training, and they sent me to school down in Georgia. I didn't believe how they treat people down there.
Let me ask you a question. You remember Emmett Till?
Am I what?
Do you remember Emmett Till?
I didn't quite get you. Am I what?
Have you ever heard of a young man called Emmett Till?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They lynched him.
Right, they cut him up, castrated him, and all this kind of stuff. Because he did what?
I know.
This is what he did. This is what he did. Watch your TV. Watch your TV. This is what he did. Now, they whooped him, killed him. Now, you know what? Now, I'm going to tell you something. I can feel you because that kind of messed with my life for a while. And I understand what you're about to say, how bad blacks had it to a certain degree. Now, I'm going to let you talk, but I just want you to understand. I understand where you're coming from, I think. So go ahead, I'm going to let you finish. When I talk, give me a second. When I talk, you be quiet. When you talk, I'm going to be quiet. Now, I'm going to be quiet. Give me a second. I'm going to be quiet and let you talk.
Go ahead and talk.
No, go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Oh, well, I tell you, I didn't like it, and we made a mistake. When we got off the train, we asked, how do we get to Camp Conley? And they told us, take that bus. It's the last stop. And we went to the back of the bus. And we almost got pulled in jail for sitting in the back of the bus. And they had a wait line. But you mentioned about the Richmond City Police and Henrico and Hanover. As far as I know, they treated everybody pretty good. And you go out to McGuire Hospital, and the majority of the people working out there, and they're all accommodating as can be, are black people. And they're not racist or anything.
Well,
You couldn't come and on a program like this here back in the old days in Richmond.
Well, I guess when you're saying that, give me a second now to respond to what you just said. I understand where you're coming from because you feel that things have even gotten better, and you feel that a person should even complain about anything because I should be lucky to be alive. Well, first of all, I'm an American citizen. I've always been that way. I was born in the 60s. I'm an old man. I'm not a little baby. And age don't have really nothing to do with it. I'm a Christian now, so I'm going to respond like a Christian. I understand where you're coming from, and what you don't understand, those things that happened had a lasting effect, and it's done some things that you probably don't understand. And I can get where you're coming from. I'm not trying to explain it or give it a credence. All I'm trying to tell you is now what's going on. Now, I don't need to hyperbole or make it up or what the police are doing. I have personal complaints against Hanover Police Department, Henrico Police Department, Richmond Police Department. Now, if I told you they tried to kill me on phony stops, of course you wouldn't believe it. But on my future shows, I'm going to take a whole show and read the complaints that I've had against Henrico Police Department. I am still waiting from Robert C. Johnson, the sergeant of Henrico County Internal Affairs, my complaint that I filed against them, what they did to me. And if I told you what they did to me now, you wouldn't believe it. But I'm going to take some time on my next show to tell you. Richmond Police Department is a corrupt organization, always has been. They have done things to Richmonders. They have lied in court on numerous occasions. They have gotten people locked up and murdered. Okay, it's just how it is. You may not believe it. You may not want to believe it. It's like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not a racist, as you would say, a racist. Okay? And remember, to say you are racist, I mean, people throw that word around. Okay? I'm talking about somebody that's done harm, physical, mental harm to people. Now, I understand where he's coming from. You don't understand? People who eat every day, people who kept money every day, people who survive in an environment that was fantastic. Okay, then, if they have a different opinion of people who've always suffered. So to feel my pain, you probably couldn't feel my pain, like I probably couldn't feel your pain. But we all got pain. Hey, thanks for calling. Call in again, please. All right, like I was saying, I'm going to give you concrete proof of how the police operate, how the courts is just like Ferguson. The courts in Virginia are just like Ferguson, okay? They go for the poor, and you know what they do to people like me. It's about the money keeping you in a destitute situation. Remember, there are no jobs here in Virginia like they're supposed to be. The only thing they push is drugs, and drugs and police go together like pancakes and syrup, okay? You got to understand what I'm talking about. What do you got right now? You got an epidemic of heroin, and you've never heard of a big bust in Virginia in a long time. When you see them on TV, scrambling, doing that photoshops like this and that, how are they getting tons and tons and tons and tons of drugs in this country if they don't have a lookout? And I'm going to show you on my future show how law enforcement with the mafia put drugs to get us foothold. Remember, they had to get a foothold in the black community. And they got a foothold in the black community all over the country. I'm talking about dope, the hard stuff. It's a reason for that. Governments use that. Go to Puerto Rico. You'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, they got shows on TV to show how they chasing drug dealers. But that's like 50 years too late. See, they already let them get here. Now you're going to make a living after chasing people about drugs. No jobs and drugs. People are not stupid. People are not going to starve. Okay? And like I said, the drugs is a game. It's a big game. I will tell anybody with this much sense, you don't need heroin, you don't need no drug because the government wants you on drugs. They want you incapacitated. They want you on drunk. They want you to drink. Virginia sells liquor. Liquor is addictive. Why does Virginia sell liquor? For the revenue or for its addictiveness, for what it does to people? You get a DUI from who? From the government. And remember, the police is the government. It's not the word police. I say the word, you just go, that's the police. That's the government. Okay? And they're far-reaching. Okay? And they're not driving cars anymore. They're doing drones. They've been up there since the 90s. It's called the Multi-Jurisdictional Aerial Surveillance Unit. And let me tell you something. They know where all the dope houses are. They know who's bringing in the dope. And they ain't going to touch them. Believe me. They're going to chase the 2-bagger who's got 3 bags and the nickel bags and the dime bags. They're going to do that all day long. The courts have been built in Virginia because of those dime bags and them nickel bags. If they had built careers, police have sent their kids to school and colleges and universities off of the drug game. Everybody has benefited off the drug game but the American people. They've got their children lost in this miserable, disgusting system that's been developed and nurtured and watered. And law enforcement is the key. Is the key to this so-called drugs that we have in this country that they can't seem to find. Okay? They want you to need them. So we have to kill this person. Because my life is in danger. They always tell you how dangerous it is. Their jobs are so dangerous. When they pull people over, they don't know who they are. That's why we want them to sit in their car. Now, why would they tell you to sit in your car? They can't see your hands. They can't see your movement. Now, what if you get out of the car while they're in their car and you get on the ground and put your hands up? Now, they got the advantage right there. They don't want that because that's how I survived so far. I'm going to prove to you. Not only do they want you to sit in your car, it's the way that they kill you in your car. Because the first thing they're going to say is, he moved his hand. He moved. He made a sudden turn. They keep these, that's called escalation. If you want to de-escalate something, will you get out of your car, please, and put your hands on the car? He's way back there. What's the problem? Now, he's not chasing you from robbing a bank, running from a scene of a crime. We're talking about a traffic stop. If it's so dangerous, why don't you stay at your car and use your microphone and go, would you get out of your car, please? And put your hands on your car. What's wrong with that? I'm going to tell you why they don't want you to do that. Because when he comes to that car, and he comes like this, you're in a vulnerable situation. He's telling you, all right, let me see this. Now, how they talk to you on TV and how they talk to you in person is 2 different things. Now, you notice that you ain't going to hear about no cameras in Virginia, okay? They wouldn't need no cameras if you could. Hey, can I get a close-up? Can I get a close-up? Thank you. This is a Henrico complaint form. If you've been beaten, lied to, or jumped by the police, this is the form that you fill out. Now, this form is what you would give to the police officer when you go to the police department to file it. This form doesn't mean nothing. All this form means is they're going to come and get you. Oh, yeah. This is a Henrico Police complaint form. I've got 4 of them. This is full of them. Full of them. All right. This form doesn't mean nothing. You call the internal affairs. They talk to you like you crazy. You can't file no complaint. And then they'll harass you. If you try to go to your government, I'm going to prove to you what I'm talking about. This form means nothing. You can't file a complaint. Hanover Police Department, I'm going to prove to you on that on my next show. You can't file a complaint against Richmond Police Department because it's a phony joke. I know what I'm talking about. I filed a complaint against Richmond Police Department. And the first thing they do is they come after you. They pull you over. They get behind your car and you in trouble. Now listen, the reason you don't stay in your car when the police are after you because they will kill you in your car. And the first thing they're going to say is that you were trying to get away. The first thing you do is put your flashers on, okay? Don't go fast. As soon as you get around some people, get out of your car and get on the ground. Don't let him tell you to get on the ground, because if he does, he's going to shoot you. And he's going to have to say, well, you see, I had to tell him to shoot him. I couldn't see his hands. Don't give him a chance to say that, because that's the game they've been playing for over 100 years. Remember, Virginia police escalate. They don't de-escalate. They don't know how. Some of them kill you because of the way you look. Some of them will kill you because they're crazy. Because they do have crazy look. If you're a child molester, wouldn't you work in Child Protective Service? You got killers who have badges in Virginia. You got killers who got badges all over the United States. Well, like I was saying, Virginia right now, law enforcement, everything is above them, okay? You can't file a complaint against them. They come after you. They're above the law. There's nothing they do. There's nothing they do is wrong. Their word in court is Bible. I mean Bible. Now, the lawyers know that the cops are making them money. Now, they've made billions of dollars off of drugs. Oh, yeah, locking you up, giving you bond, locking you up, giving you bond. And if you notice that the schools have no money, but the police have all the money, okay? All the money. The thing that's so bad about it is that you don't hear anything in Virginia about the cameras. Nothing. Once in a while you hear about, we might have some cameras. Do you know how many cameras they have to buy? Now, don't forget, in Richmond, you got the state police, you got the Capitol Police. They're the same police organization, but you got the Capitol Police, the Richmond Police, State Police, you got VCU Police, all of them need cameras. VCU Police, they've changed, their boundaries have changed from the campus. Where's the campus of Virginia? VCU, where's the campus start and where's it end? They got it blended with the city. And right before your eyes, they're going to take all the way down to Staple Mill. Oh, that's going to be VCU campus. But see, that's all been in the works, but people don't know that. All those phony businesses going down Broad Street, those are all front businesses. Those two tattoo places and this place here, VCU own all that. And they taking them up two at a time, and VCU going to pop up. Apartment building, apartment building, apartment building. You cannot even walk past there no more. It's all campus. Now, you don't know when you're on the campus or when you ain't on the campus. See, that's how slick they are. Virginia's changing, baby. Now, the police is a big part of that, okay? Remember, they're revenue makers. Now, I just heard that Ferguson signed a decree. Now, Virginia's very powerful, don't get me wrong, but they're also very, very conniving. You know, law enforcement is very powerful here. They have murdered thousands of people and got away with it. They got judges that work with them. They got the prosecutor that work with them. And there's not a lawyer in this state that would stand up to them. You got two lawyers that would sue the police. You couldn't find one lawyer in Virginia or Richmond that would sue the police in Virginia, okay? And when I say police, we're talking about government now. Police is an extension of the government, okay? Government gone crazy because don't no law apply to them. If they do something, you can't go to the prosecutor and go, I want to file charges against this cop. He has immunity, automatic immunity. And they're always pulling their guns on you. I mean, they pull their guns on you and they can shoot you. And all they have to say is, I was in fear of my life. That's it. Case closed. See you later. When you file a complaint against the Richmond Police Department, Henrico Police Department, Hanover Sheriff's Department, you're taking your life in your own risk. And I'm going to tell you the biggest organization that they all got in common. Fraternal Order of Police is a gangster organization. Okay? They represent cops when they murder, they rape. What about the cop that raped 14 women? Now, these women couldn't prove that the cop did it because all they said was he raped me, they took a test, but they was poor women. Well, he got away with it. For how long? Listen, law enforcement needs to face the same laws that I do. A judge needs to face the same laws that I do. A senator, a congressman. That is the problem. That's why I'm saying that if Donald Trump wins the election, which is a very good possibility. Now, I know law enforcement's for him too, but other people are going for Donald Trump for different reasons. They want to break up the Democratic Party. They want to break up the Republican Party because they're not doing nothing for the American people. Remember how long, you may not like this president, but I do, okay? Honorable man does not lie, okay? He fought for this country with our soldiers, and there is no cohesive program of what they're going to do over there. But I know we're going to go back over there pretty soon, and we all got to be on the same page. It may not be right, but we all got to stick together when it comes to foreign thing, foreign matters. But domestically, if you're a Klansman, that's your thing. Whatever you want to do is your thing. If you're an American, I say you cannot attack, jump, or hurt people. Okay, but it doesn't look like it's going to go that way on this election. It looks like this election is going to be pretty violent, which is anything is about Richmond or Virginia or America is violence. We the gun-toteless people of the world. Okay, don't forget that. We make more guns than anybody. Everybody got guns. Everybody. And long live the amendments. But I tell you what, if you live in public housing, you cannot own a gun. They take away your rights to own a gun. Now, I don't know how they did it, but they did. They've done a lot of things with redevelopment housing. That's a joke, which is really a scale. Now, that's one place that needs to be thrown out. They got people sitting over there just taking their money. They're living in nothing but disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting how, if you live in redevelopment housing in Virginia, you have no rights. It's a police state. The police tell you everything what you can do over there. That's right, which they could do anywhere, basically. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is this. This election is going to be pivotal. It's going to happen. And, you got people, I won't vote for her, and blah, blah, blah. Now, the police are going to go for Donald Trump. And a lot of people are going to go for Donald Trump. He's got me on a few things that I have to concur with him. But if he does not change his rhetoric, the rhetoric, we know, when I see people getting pushed around, women being pushed by grown men, and grown men doing it in a way that looks so vicious, and they're happy about it, it brings back chills. Maybe, my daddy was born in 1919. I started getting the memories back when he told me we used to go down in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. And we all know what that is. But, I think if we don't come to our senses, maybe that's the direction everybody wants to go in. Me, I'm a Christian. I'm going to help everybody. But I'm going to speak truth to power. And there's one thing that I'm going to tell you right now. The police have absolutely gone crazy. I know most of the police are Caucasians. And it wouldn't be so bad, the fact that they're all Caucasians. It's the fact that what they do with their power. Because remember what power does. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And the people with the power seem to go insane with it. Omnipotent, you can't be touched. You see how the cops walk? They walk like the badge is so heavy. I respect the badge. If you put your hands on me, I'm going to try to defend myself. I don't put my hands on no law enforcement. Law enforcement puts their hands on me. Now, they've got this thing about they can do anything they want once they get you locked up. The reason people get locked up is they don't have any money. Now, once you get locked up, you have to eat the food they give you. Now, the food they give you is practically poison. Oh, yeah, it's poison. Poison. Okay? And you have to live off candy and gum that the state makes money off. They make money off the phone calls. You see all these boys who walk around here picking up trash, who locked up. Everybody think that's a good idea. I thought we live in a capitalist country. You get paid for any work you do. See, that's what I thought, but obviously not, And remember, you've always had capitalism and this kind of strange relationship we've had with slavery that doesn't seem to bother other people, but it affects other people. And I see white people today are feeling some of the pain that black people felt in the 60s and 50s as in being brutalized by the police. Because they'll tear a poor white guy up like viciously. I'm going to give you an example of it with the incident I had with the Henrico Police Department, how they treated a white lady in cuffs with her pants down. Henrico police brought her in with her pants down. They already had me hooked up and chained up. It was all ridiculously how they did it, but she came in naked. They were laughing at her and stuff like that. I brought it to the magistrate's attention. I had to, even though I was in a bad situation myself. It just made me sick that they would do this to a white woman. I said if they would do this to her, oh my God, we're in big trouble when they get this. That's too much power. They just went crazy, going crazy. The way they treat people is ridiculous. And another thing, those cuffs that they use, they've given probably hundreds of thousands of people in this country or more nerve damage with the way they use those cuffs. See, those cuffs cut off your circulation. And they always put the cuffs on people if they don't like them or anytime they want to. And when they put the cuffs on, they immediately put them on till it cuts off your circulation completely, especially to older people. And they may take them off when they feel like it. And by that time, you have nerve damage. But they've done that to hundreds of thousands of people. And those cuffs, when they turn them like this, and the guy's sitting there with his cuffed and his hands are like this, and the cops are behind him, and he starts twisting them, and he starts jumping, then the cop goes, he's fighting me, and then he can start hitting him, and y'all say, well, he's fighting the police. No, he's not. He's in pain. They do that trick on me a lot. I've had to learn to take that pain when they want to get you to, like I told you, the police escalate violence and rhetoric and drama, okay? Now, it's like being a fireman. We know you got good firemen, you got bad firemen. You've heard firemen all over the country, in every state, that have actually started fires. But he was a fireman. Why would he do that? Well, you got people who are crazy in all professions. You got doctors who kill their patients. You got nurses that kill their patients. You got dog catchers that do crazy things. You got people who are police that should never have been on the force in the first place. You have police that kill people because of what they look like. You got police that kill people because they like to kill people. And you got some good cops who actually de-escalate situations. Those are the rarities. Those are the rare cops, and they come in different colors. And I'm telling you now, the black cops these days, I don't know what, I can't relate to him on no level. He's absolutely insane. I mean, I'm serious. I have to tell you, the black cops scare me to death because they don't care about nothing. You can't come to them no kind of way. They act like, I don't know you. Who are you? Where are you from? You know. But the majority of the cops that are doing this, the craziness, they're the ones that seem to get away with it forever. And that's what I'm saying about the power that they have. I mean, the harm they have done to Americans. That's why we have said we have gone to the point where we have gone to a police state. And it used to be a time when people policed themselves. The police is part of the government. And they're doing things way out of line. I mean, they're killing people in custody. They're killing people for traffic stops. They're beating them. And in Virginia, you can get away with that. A cop is like a god in the courtroom. You go to Henrico courtroom, you should see how they walk around. They walk around like Jesus Christ. And the judge, whatever comes out of that cop's mouth is law. And you can tell when a cop is lying in court. You can tell. You can tell how they just roll with it. Roll with it. I mean, the fact that they actually will wait until they get cuffs on to whoop you, to beat you to death, and then say you tripped or you fell, you had an accident of this nature. And the fact that you cannot file a complaint against a law enforcement, okay, because law enforcement is out of control right now. Now, you don't hear, like I said before, you don't hear nothing about the camera. Nothing about the camera. Okay? We wouldn't need the camera if you could file a complaint and it was worked upon by legitimate, honest people. But it's not like that. They cover up and they come after you. I don't know when these cameras are going to come out, but they're going to buy a lot of cameras. A lot of cameras. I mean, if you go to any courtroom in Virginia, you just journalists of court, just look at it. It's like a joke. They try to either bankrupt the person. They don't, it's next. I mean, it's crazy what's going on, and they get away with it. You watch when the summertime come, cops gonna be in the air conditioning car, riding around. Drugs are already here because it was put here and it's being protected here. Okay, I'm talking about the hard drugs that's killing all these college students and just tearing up people's lives. And that stuff you see on TV is a joke. Okay, because if they didn't want drugs here, it wouldn't be here. The state sells drugs. It sells liquor. That is a drug, okay? It kills people by the thousands. And what do? The state sells it. Then they lock you up for being drunk. The state should get out of selling liquor, but they want the revenue. The revenue. It's all about the money. People are second place when it comes to third place when it comes to money. Don't forget, the Supreme Court said a company is a human being. Now, if you're a Christian, you definitely can't go with that. But that's what they say. A company has the same rights as we have. That's how you know the United States has gone crazy. It's just gone crazy. And the hate that they have for the president, I mean, the absolute hate, it's unbelievable that nobody cannot see that. Okay? I've voted for presidents who didn't look nothing like me. Okay? But he was the president. So I gave him that respect, respect. And anything foreign policy, We didn't talk about each other about foreign policy, but they do it here. I see the police, you should have seen the police. They must have went crazy when that man won the first time. Okay? But if we would all really wake up to what the problem we have, I mean, the drugs are here and they're being protected by the governments that they know it's here. They know where the drugs are. Okay? They know it's destroying families. But there was a reason why it's here. It's been here, brought here, with no jobs. How do you think you could, like you have right now? You have everybody upset about illegals being here. If you go anywhere on the south side, Belmead is completely Latino. I got no problem with the Latinos. I mean, they love their families. They work hard. But everybody else works hard. You know, they say people don't do jobs. I've done a labor all my life. Ain't a job I wouldn't do. Nobody's ever outworked me my entire life. That's why my body is a wreck. Because nobody outworks me. School is the number one thing you need to do. And what do the schools do? Go down, down, down. Public schools are ridiculous. Teachers are underpaid, overworked. Kids go to school with no food. Kids go to school looking crazy. And kids today seem to me more mean just mean. So, basically, we got to come together to some degree. But having a police state, is not the cure. It's not the panacea. To live off people with the way they use the police, which is part of the government, and the things that they have done and gotten away with, and these so-called court systems we got, right now I have to say the court system is broke. The justice system is broke. No one should be above the law. You, me, nobody. But you and I both know it does not apply to judges. It does not apply to the prosecutor. It does not apply to the police. They are above the law. They are above reproach. All law enforcement should have to take a drug test. All law enforcement have to take some sort of mental test because they are killing people and they get away with it. I'm going to go in more detail about the Henrico Police Department, the complaints that I've had to file, the times they tried to kill me. Hanover Police Department, Hanover Sheriff's Department, the time they tried to kill myself and my wife. So now, since the phones are kind of died down, I'm going to say this again. Virginia has to get its act together pertaining to how it's going to treat its people. The people are suffering. White people who are poor and people who look like me have been suffering long. I understand that you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, take care of your family. Everybody wants to do that. To me, my family is important, and I hope to everybody else is important. But we have gotten to the point where, in this state, that you have people who are dying in the streets, nobody cares. You see all these people with signs say, feed me, I got nowhere to go, and we turn our heads against them. But on the other hand, the country gives out trillions of dollars to other countries, but they won't spend a dime on people here in this country. A dime, a nickel. You hear them all the time. I ain't giving them health care. I ain't giving out health care. I'm working. I'm doing this. And then they say, depend on the rich to bring us jobs. The government's job, the government's number one job is to make sure its people are eating and surviving. All the other countries do that. What's the difference here? We know the Middle East is messed up right now. We got families running countries, We know it's messed up. We have that kind of dynasty thing going around here somewhat in Virginia, And nobody wants to help anybody else. We got two cities. You got downtown and you got the city. All cities like Richmond have downtowns. Who lives in downtown? Businesses. And on Sunday, they're closed. All that property is empty on Sunday. Everybody's in church, supposedly, or some kind of mosque, or wherever their religious institutions are. But the thing that's going to have to bring us together is justice. Justice. And like I said, in my next show, I'm going to be specific about what Henrico and what Richmond has in common pertaining to Ferguson. Okay? Because it's all about the money, revenue, and that's what they use law enforcement for. And law enforcement is government. Government overreaching. Government that can get away with murder. Government that can get away with torture. the police torture in Virginia. I'm going to take my last call. I got 1 minute, so make it quick. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, how you doing?
Go ahead.
I'm enjoying your show. I just want to say, do you actually believe that they're going to give up their privilege?
No, I don't.
Okay, and have a good night.
You too, ma'am. Call back next Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
I will.
All right. Look, I'm about to close the show out, and I want everybody to understand, I haven't really got down to specifics on a few things, but we're in a mess in here, Virginia. People who look like me are in a terrible mess, and people who don't look like me, like my white brothers, no jobs, no justice. They're in jail like crazy. They can't get out of jail. We got the drugs that are put here to do just what it's doing. So basically, this is the first show that I hope to have a few more. And I wish to thank you for watching it, and I hope you watch next time. I'll be more specific. So again, I would like to wish you peace, love, and don't forget, everybody get out to vote for whoever you want to vote for. A shout out to Lil Pearl and Big Pearl and Renee. I love you a lot. Again, I'd like to say, in closing, got a lot of work to do. Talk to you again. God bless.
Y'all never consider blacks, so this is what triggered that. Racist store owner thinking, damn, where all the niggas at? Ha! Cops killing off the black and the brown. The same companies we spend money with backing these clowns. So until they start respecting what we bring to the table, we gon' cut them off faster than unpaid cable. No Target, no Macy's, Foot Locker, IKEA. No Toys R Us, Best Buy, or Walmart either. No high expensive clothes, no shoes or socks. Hell, we ain't even buying nothing out of Jack in the Box. So what we doing to them this year? Black